Like, this is called the pesky report. Like,
welcome back to the Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster. I am your host today, Matthew, for the second episode in a row. Actually, wow, I just lied to our listening audience. I apologize. We're not even 30 seconds in, and I just lied because we had our great minor league talk show that came out on Tuesday. And of course, I just disrespected the great Jake, Derek, and Hunter, although I know Jake wasn't on the episode, but he's still part of that crew. So second series recap episode in a row that I have the pleasure of being on, joined by Jordan himself and Isiah today. Guys, how are you feeling? Jordan, welcome back. Have you gotten over the jet lag of returning from Cincinnati? And I don't know, how are you feeling?
Well, I drove, so that. But yes, I've recovered from the travel.
You don't know about the driving jet lag that you can get from going from like all the way over in Cincinnati coming back. Like,
well, I think at one point I went manic. I think at one point I did go manic on that drive. I was fueled by Monster and Cheetos, so I felt like I was back in the Fat Jordan gaming days. It was quite the trip. But yes, I've recovered. The last couple of days I've slept up until I couldn't anymore before going to work. So we're chilling.
You know, I respect the Cheetos take, but I have to say one of the worst foods for driving just because of what it does to your fingers. And then I feel like I'm driving with like one hand with like just like my palm on the steering wheel, can't touch with your fingertips. And like
it wasn't my first choice.
Problems.
It wasn't my first choice, but I was at a Love's. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Love's, like those truck stops. Maybe the worst one I'd ever been to. We stopped at several on the ride back, or ride to and from. But this one had like no options. There were like no chip options. There were no candy options. It was brutal. And then like they had a Subway in there, but I wasn't going to eat Subway at 11:30 p.m. Absolutely not. I'm not a heathen. So I got Cheetos.
Sober.
Yeah. No. Well, I hopefully, but yeah, I was definitely not going to partake in adult beverages at 11:30 p.m. when I was the one driving home. But yes, that is correct. I
don't see Tiger Woods in here on the Pesky Report right now, so we should be
no. But at this point, we're probably the same caliber of golfer.
Yeah, I am curious, Jordan, if you did have your way though, what would be your go-to road trip snack be?
Ooh, that's tough because I don't know. I'd say probably some sort of sour candy or like Reese's. I know those are like polar opposite, but I'm still a sweets guy. Like that's the one thing that I will never lose about the Fat Jordan days, is sour candy or like Reese's. I did have like a family size bag of peanut butter M&Ms on the way there though, and that might be up there on the podium as well. And then any kind of soda will be up there. But if it's a long drive and I'm driving overnight, I tried this Monster today, this zero sugar Monster. Let me double check what flavor it was. I want to give the right shout. Not sponsored, by the way. Could be already sponsor the Red Sox, so you may as well jump on the podcast train as well. Monster Energy. Ultra Punk Punch, that was phenomenal. That may be in the rotation going forward.
I always do the orange ultra that's sugar free.
Oh, the peachy keen or whatever it is. That thing.
No, not that one. No, it's literally like Sunkissed orange or something like that, and it tastes like orange soda but like sugar free.
I'll report back.
Yep. Highly recommend. Isiah and I spent some time together back in 2017, doing some road trips in the band van that we were in together, and so we definitely have some.
We had it much easier back then when it came to choosing snacks. It was go to the gas station, find whatever was the cheapest, and you buy that. Like $8 in my bank account.
Yeah, didn't have any money. We couldn't even afford like getting more than one thing at like a Taco Bell for dinner. Yeah, absolutely insane times. But I think my go-to has got to be like combos, specifically pizza combos, if they have them.
Dude, you
Like-
bought the pizza combos when you went to the was it the Winterfest back in Springfield? Was that like two years ago? I think 2.5 years ago. Yeah, and I had it in my car for like 6 months. And I found them at some point.
You found my winter weekend combos.
Yeah, they still tasted great, man.
I was supposed to ask if you had one.
Yeah, those are a go-to for if I'm doing a salty snack. And then I think if I had to pick a sweet snack, I think Sour Patch Kids up there on the list for sure. What about you, Isiah? What's your go-to like road trip?
I got a whole little routine. I'll buy like a Gatorade or something. I'll drink that first, and then I'll buy the those like hot buffalo wing pretzels, like little bites, and I'll
like
put
Snyder
those
ones.
Yeah, I'll put those
I know
in
exactly what you're talking about.
the Gatorade bottle when it's empty, so that way I can just pour them in my mouth while I drive. Because otherwise your hands get all sticky. So I got a whole little routine. Gas.
Is it
You're a
like
genius.
something about the Gatorade like adding to the flavor too, or like
No,
literally
not at all. It just I did it once and it felt right. I just kept rocking with it.
No, I'm not kidding. I know that may have sounded sarcastic when I said you're a genius, but that might be one of the smartest things I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to be doing that from now on.
prefer purple Gatorade with the extra residue at the bottom.
See, people thought they came here for ball talk, but really they came here for like incredible road trip knowledge.
There's no ball to talk about. The season hasn't begun yet.
That's true. I'm excited for opening day,
Yeah.
First game of the year. Maybe we can do kind of what the Padres did after the first game against the Yankees, and they just tweeted the very next day. They're like, here's our opening day starter and our opening day lineup. And it was like their second game of the year, but they were like, nope, flush the first one, starting over with the second one.
It would give somewhat of a 2023 feel, though. I mean, Sonny Gray is not Corey Kluber. I know that you guys actually had that conversation on the
We did.
show over the weekend.
Yeah.
I know he's not Corey Kluber, but knowing that, like, if we treated the home opener as opening day, Sonny Gray starting and not Garrett Crochet would give me a very similar vibe. And I don't, especially because it's against Michael King, who's like legitimately one of the 15 best pitchers in the game when he's healthy. So maybe we shouldn't talk about it as if it's opening day, even if we would like to.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't really want to talk more about Corey Kluber though.
Whether it's opening day or not, Caleb Durbin's batting average on that scoreboard tomorrow is going to be 0.
and it might be 0 on Saturday too.
Man. Also, on a side note, I went to the redsox.com to pull up like the box scores, and I'm pretty sure that MLB Pipeline is using an AI generated photo for their little image of Red Sox players right now in the top 30. So
nice.
Love that. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, where do we want to start with this? I mean, I feel like we could start with the drama, because that's kind of like maybe it was perpetrating throughout the entire series, but I don't know if you guys listened to the latest Section 10 or not. Just kind of some speculation there around like what caused Carlos Narvaez's benching in Game 3. You look confused, Jordan. Is this a first you're hearing of this?
No, I'm just locked in right now. Sorry. No,
Man was thinking about the Gatorade and
I'm trying to think of what I'd put in a Gatorade bottle on a road trip. Like what would absorb the flavor of a Gatorade the best,
I can think of a couple things that would make that Subway a little bit better.
Yeah. but unfortunately nothing I can consume while driving.
Yes, of course not. No. But then again, if you're the passenger, have at it.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
It's definitely the time to have those Cheetos too, man. When you don't have to have your hands on the wheel. Cheetos all the way.
I am a one hand on the wheel driver though, so I could get away with it a little bit. It's still gross, but I can get away with it a little bit.
Well, yeah, but then what are you going to do with your phone?
That's a great point. I got to scroll my Instagram reels while I drive.
Let's see how
Ash Patel, if you're
topics.
watching this, I'm not I'm not actually on my phone all the time. Actually, if
Yes,
you watch,
this
if any of you follow me on TikTok, you know that's not true.
Yes.
All of my
Yeah, definitely don't watch the most recent TikTok video.
All of my TikToks are me behind the wheel.
He's driving with his knees. He's got Cheetos in one hand, phone in the other.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, back to the Red Sox, right? Like that.
Anyways, Red
show's
Sox,
about.
yes. Yeah, why do you think Carlos Narvaez got benched? Do you think that this is, just him setting an example for the rest of the team? Do you think it was truly something that Narvaez did? It seems kind of out of character for him to, do something benching worthwhile. I guess I'll start with you, Isiah. Do you feel like this is related to, maybe the ABS challenges that he's been getting wrong? Do you feel like there's something else going on here? I don't know. What's your take on Narvaez?
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, I was even listening to Sean McAdam and Chris Cotillo today, and they both said straight up they had no idea what it's about. And if those guys don't know, then I don't really know if we'll ever really know here soon. But so I'm not too interested in like putting out a statement in which I'm like, oh, I bet he did this. If I were to kind of guess or try to assume what happened, it probably, I don't know if he was a couple minutes late, but I think what's more important is Cora. I mean, they're 1-4 going in that game, and things feel like they're starting to kind of trample upon itself right now. So for me, it felt like more symbolic of like trying to like put your foot down and be stern because of like what has transpired. I can't imagine he did anything incredibly egregious. I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws yet. I don't know.
Do you have any differing takes on that, Jordan?
Yeah, it's tough because like today Carter Jensen got scratched from the Royals lineup because he overslept his alarm. But it's obviously a different situation, different kind of player. Like Carter Jensen's a rookie. I think he's like 23 years old. Narvi's a bit older, even if he is still relatively young from an experience standpoint. I don't think it's fair to him to kind of try and guess what it was. I can't imagine it's something like really truly like significant, because if it was, we'd hear about it somehow, like somebody would leak it to the press, and they were both very close to the vest about it. I would tend to agree with Isiah that I think it's probably just a matter of him showing up a couple minutes late, and they've clearly been not focused as a team entering the season. We've seen many mental mistakes, whether you want to talk about Sonny Gray's whatever the hell that was in game 2, forgetting to throw the ball home and then like trying to play pickleball with the runner, Duran getting picked off, the stupid challenges they've been burning early in games. They're clearly not focused. And Narvaez, for whatever reason, crossed a line that was worthy of benching, and he got scratched from the lineup. I don't think it's going to be anything more serious than just a one game thing.
Not focus, including the coaching staff. With
yes,
like that's crazy. Like that. I think that's the most embarrassing thing from the entire weekend. Week
was the missed strikeout. Is that what
you're talking about? No one in the dugout even realizing it, and then Alex Spear after the game being like, "Hey, Cora," kind of give him like a minute of like building up a snowball to pass it over to him. And Cora's just like, yeah, I don't like he didn't even know at that point, I feel like. And he came in the next day, he was like, yeah, it's my fault. Like, we should have had that, which is cool. Glad they owned up to it, but it's like, dude, how is not a single person in there pay attention to the game?
I mean, you see Bailey like charting every single pitch. Like I can't. I don't know how someone didn't notice. Like, I mean, there's scoreboards. Like I don't know what in the world. You just know that whoever was running the scoreboard thought that they were tripping. Like the person who's like controlling the balls and strikes, for the stadium and everything, because you know that they got him down to strike 3, and then nobody reacted, and they're just looking around, probably like, am I tripping? Like, wasn't that strike 3? And no one moves. Everyone just keeps playing, and they just, okay, I guess that was strike 2. I don't know, like, like.
Yeah, it's not like he took any of those pitches. He swung and missed 3 times in a row. Like,
yep.
I thought I was hallucinating. I was like, even the Nesson score bug had it 0-2, and then like I think even Obi had mentioned that he'd struck out, and then I all of a sudden heard Mark Wegner go 1-2 because I'm like, why is Cam Smith still in the batter's box? That was a nightmare and kind of a microcosm of the first 6 games of the season. Well, the last 5. The first one was okay. Last 5 was terrible.
Cam Smith didn't even react like he struck out either. So like every single person there was confused. I don't know. Don't know what was going on.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. Just the overall bad challenges in this by the Red Sox so far. They clearly don't know the strike zone. I think that at this point, I know overall, I think it's catchers are 42% accurate with ABS from behind the plate. In every other position, it's more like 25 to 30% accurate for ABS challenges so far. And that kind of makes me think that we should be definitely reevaluating the stance on who's able to challenge and when. But I know this has been debated and talked about all over the place, but the Red Sox just don't act like they have a plan at all when it comes to ABS challenges. They're just burning them left and right, burning them early in counts, early in the game. And then there's times later in the game when they do have challenges available and like they're too scared to challenge the pitches that could actually matter. So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's like having this superpower in your belt pocket that you could literally pull out at any time to help you, like, in whatever you're going through, and then you pull it out incorrectly, use it a couple of times the wrong way, and then you're just like, you know what, I'm just not going to use this superpower at all. It's crazy. It's such a competitive disadvantage. I don't know.
Yeah, there needs to be a short list of players that are not allowed to challenge under any circumstance unless they get like absolutely boned. And Cedar Rafaela is 100% on that list. Not like I don't even want to. If anybody's challenging an 0-0 pitch in the 3rd inning of a 1-0 game, they shouldn't be allowed to challenge again for like a week because that is such an inconsequential pitch. I understand if like you get absolutely like if it's clearly a ball and it gets called a strike. Like if it's way off the plate, because umpires do miss by a lot sometimes. Like we saw in spring training, some missed pitches right down the middle. But like Cedar, of all people, burning a challenge on an 0-0 pitch, like 1, again, inconsequential pitch ultimately. 2, they didn't get it wrong. Like you just get gun shy the rest of the game, and then like Roman burned their second challenge against Cincinnati in game 2, and then we saw CB Buckner repeatedly without lube just fuck the Red Sox over the rest of the night, and it's just they don't have a plan at the plate. They're almost like leaning into the ABS, but none of them are good at it, so it just doesn't make any sense where they're at. It's like the worst thing that's ever happened to the Red Sox organization is the introduction of the ABS system. And we thought that'd be a good thing for them, especially guys like Roman and like Wilyer. He's the only one that hasn't got one wrong. He's 1 for 1,
and it looked like a good thing in game 1.
Yeah.
After game 1, we're like, oh, this ABS shit is sick. Like, they helped us win the game. And then the last, 5 games has just been atrocious. So yes, this is all true, but I guess my question is, do you guys think there's like any chance that like having the day off and getting back to Fenway we see like some of this, because it's not just ABS stuff. Offense is terrible. The defense looks like shit. Like the coaching staff looks like they're not even paying attention. Like I'm hoping this is kind of just like a reset so that we can properly evaluate how the team is, because we all saw the last 6 games, they look like shit, right? I'm just hoping that, they get home and they just, it turns on, I guess.
I think like last year we didn't feel great about them coming off the road to start the year, and I know that obviously they came back and blew the doors off the Cardinals for opening day. So like that was a nice little reset, and then I think there was some weather that played a factor in the rest of that series. They ended up winning game 2 with a walk-off, and they lost game 3. And then they had like a cold stretch come in and they lost a bunch against the Blue Jays, is what I remember. But I could see that being, the thing that's hard to kind of predict right now for me is the Padres are the team that they're facing, and the Padres are not a bad baseball team. They're not the Dodgers, but they're not a bad baseball team. And I think that we faced another one of these, not great, but not bad baseball teams in the Astros, and they just kicked our doors in. Right. So I don't know. I'm not feeling great about it, but I could see if they came out of the doors swinging. Okay, maybe this is a vibe change, but I'm not positive about it.
Yeah, I think good teams don't typically start 1-5. That's not to say that the Red Sox can't be a good team. I mean, the Mets in 2024 went to the NLCS and they started 1-5. So it's not like there's no precedent for it, but it's not common. And it's obviously not something that this is their worst start since 2019. And obviously that team only won 84 games and missed the playoffs altogether. I will say, and we'll get into the pitching matchups and everything. Like we'll preview the series at the end, but like I really like the matchup they are drawing in at least 2 of these games coming up. But like last year they went 2-4 on that first. Yeah, like they went 2-4 on the opening road trip last year. And the rotation last year was not good on paper, especially compared to this one. Ranger Suarez was awful in camp and then also bad in the WBC. So he was like already behind the 8 ball. And he also had a horrible first start last year. So like there's a whole lot of like nuance to his performance. But I wouldn't have guessed that after one trip plus Crochet's second start through the rotation, they'd be 24th in team ERA. I would have thought that this would have been similar to like the 2024 start, where like the first 15 games, they had a starting pitching ERA of like 1.5. But that's just not been the case. And first innings have been really bad for them as well. Like even Connolly had a scoreless first in his debut, but he threw 24 pitches in it. So it's like they're dragging ass through first innings, and then it's setting them behind the 8 ball, and then that forces Greg Weissert into games, and that's never a good thing, especially with runners on. But yeah, I think that there will be a vibe switch when they get to Fenway. I just hope that if they're like, I think like if they are going to win 2 of 3 of this series, I really hope one of them is the opener, because I can't do the discourse of them being 1-6, even if they're 3-6 after this series is over.
Yeah, I hope it happens, because the vibes at opening day at Fenway would be, enough to lift even a poor man's spirit, enough to give Caleb Durbin an extra 2 inches of lift on his, on his swing there. But
how about his height?
I mean, yeah, could be that too. But I think like if you think about some of the players that have actually started succeeding well so far, it's almost like making the playoffs last year caused just like, I don't know, overconfidence from some of the guys. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but like you see like Connor Wong, he's someone who needed to step up and prove himself, and he's actually been doing that so far. He's got 3 doubles so far already.
It's crazy.
It's been awesome.
Absolutely insane. He's our best hitter on the team by far, other than Wilyer right now. But like think about Connor Wong and think about his narrative. Like he's had to put in a lot of work because he sucked last year, and he had to overcome that. And I'm sure he wasn't happy with the fact that he didn't.
That's what's funny is he sucked in spring training too.
It's true.
He wasn't good spring. Like you pulled up to Cincinnati. He was like, all right. I think for me, I just want to see better baseball, right? Because like it's the beginning of the year. If you're telling me, hey, first time through the rotation, all these veterans, they're still getting used to it. Okay, the offense needs to heat up a bit. First week of the season, fine. But if we lose like 2 out of 3 of the Padres, and it's because of shit ABS on our end, bad, stupid defense, and us like being uber aggressive and swinging at 90% of pitches out of the strike zone. Trevor Story. That's what's really gonna annoy me. You know what I mean? It's not, Michael King was fucking balling tonight. Like it is what it is. I want to see like good baseball. I want to see them improve on things that they can actually improve on.
I hear you.
Yeah,
for sure. It's just been a very frustrating, first stretch of games. And it's like you see the guys that are struggling. Like again, it's a lot of mental mistakes. Like I went through the quick Cliff Notes version of it, but like Duran getting picked off in a 1-run game after a leadoff walk, and then I think Contreras walked after that, and then Wilyer hit a single. So like you're talking about a potential rally there where you're not even talking about just tying the game, but maybe taking the lead, maybe hanging a crooked number, and you don't even have to bring in Chapman to win that series. I mean, and then to that point also, like they're just not scoring runs. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. The only player that Wilyer's been awesome. So like he is completely irrelevant to this conversation. Number 2 and number 3 are tied for second on the team in OPS with runners in scoring position is Duran and Roman Anthony at 650. It's a small sample size. So like, I'm not going to be like, it's not like it's June, but like though, like you're talking Wilyer's been awesome. And then your second and third best guy is an 85 WRC plus with runners in scoring position. They both struck out, I think 3 out of the 10 at bats combined. Like it's just not, or 3 out of the 10 plate appearances combined. Like they're just not moving runners around. Caleb Durbin's been atrocious. Like I cannot stress enough how awful it is watching him hit right now. And I'm sure he'll be fine. And I say that in like a tongue in cheek kind of way. Cause like, that's all he is just a fine baseball player. Like I will not forgive Red Sox Twitter for trying to gaslight me into thinking this guy's good at baseball. He's just not bad at anything. Like he's not good at anything. Like he's not a good defender. He's just not a bad one. He's not a good hitter. He's just not a bad one. He's not like he doesn't have good power. He just doesn't have no power. Like there's nothing about Caleb Durbin that's like, oh, this guy's really good. Like he's like the epitome of the not all war is created equal stat, like point that I've been making the last couple of years. Like he might finish with 2.5 to 3 WAR, but I'm going to look at it and be like, okay, like Trevor Story had 3 WAR last year. I honestly, based on the season he had, would not have believed that if you just told me that. I know he had a fine year overall, but like a 101 WRC plus with shit defense, 3 WAR doesn't make sense to me. 2.6 WAR for Caleb Durbin. Looking at the numbers he had, that did not make sense to me. He finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. I don't care. I really do not care. He's just not that good of a baseball player.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he's even in this this spot. Like he actually seems like a guy. I feel like I know he doesn't play outfield currently, but he seems like a guy that would be like a great 10th guy to have. First guy off your bench that can like play everywhere for people to be like, oh, like Brock Holt, whatever. Like a stopgap. But the fact that he was brought in this offseason with like, the lack of moves, and then, the front office kind of like gaslighting us as this second hitter it's kind of embarrassing.
Going from Devers to Bregman to Durbin is just atrocious, man. Like I don't get it. I don't know how we got here. It's just brutal.
Tim Healy had the report that even after they traded for Durbin, they did circle back around to the Astros again to try to see if they could make something work with Paredes. And then that did not end up happening. Also kind of bizarre that Paredes also had the quote saying like, yeah, I don't see the ball good at Fenway anyways. Like I just wouldn't want to play there. It's wild.
Absolutely crazy.
that in itself tells me the Red Sox understand that Caleb Durbin wasn't the answer there, but because they didn't end up getting somebody else, now that's what they have to sell people on. And like, I don't know, I could see there being a trade deadline acquisition, when Jeremy Pena is healthy at the deadline, and maybe they revisit the.
For sure. I mean, hopefully it's before. Like,
true.
Yeah, but like we're gonna have to wait all the way until was that end of July?
Well, I think Craig has shown a couple of things. He will address via trade early on if needed to be. And like
with
remember remember when Casas got hurt and he immediately traded for Dom Smith and signed Garrett Cooper or something like that in like a week, right?
I want to I think Garrett Cooper got DFA'd. Like I think they traded for him, but I think the Cubs cut him. Like he was a waiver claim essentially. And I don't know what the Dom Smith situation was. I don't remember, but I think they brought him in.
Yeah, I think I had it reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they traded for the DFA of Garrett Cooper and then signed Dom Smith.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring that up is because I remembered thinking that were they just going to drag their feet on this? Were they going to just stick some random person like Bobby Dahlbeck at first base, and that's who we were going to have to watch play? And he immediately went out and acquired 2 first basemen. And then last year, he'd made the Rafael Devers trade very early on in the year, all things considered. Didn't wait it right up until the deadline to make a big move there. That did not obviously turn out well by any means. But the reason I bring that up is to say I don't think Craig is afraid of making a trade too early on in the year or in the season. I think that if the team needs one, that he would make that move. What I don't think is that he would make a big splash to acquire someone like a power hitter early on in there, because I think their analytics team would need to see a larger sample size of, is this going to be worth it? Is this team going to make the playoffs? How close are we? What's our statistical, what's the analysis say? Like if we acquire this hitter, what would our playoff odds be? And if you run that simulation 100 times, how many times do we make the playoffs if we add him versus if we don't? And
so, yes, I would say normally, yes, I agree with all that. But I think an important caveat is like, this is year number 3 for Craig. Like it's kind of the time to like shut up, or I'm sorry, right? That's year 3.
Yeah.
This is kind of the year where it's like, dude, you gotta show up or you're gone. Like this is kind of the same sort of, like 3-year path that Heim had. Like, I mean, you're right, Matthew. I know that they would definitely, put that in their calculations, but it's also like, dude, we have an obvious need here. The fact that our lineup last year, our 2, 3, and 4 hitter are all not in this year's lineup between Casas, Bregman, and Devers is insane.
Yeah, the opening day lineup.
And their 6 hitter, because Christian Campbell's also not not in the major leagues. Not to say that he should be. He had an awful spring training. I don't think he would have made it anyway. But yeah, but the thing that drives me nuts about this whole Durbin and then circling back to Isiah Paredes thing is they're admitting that they just made a trade for the sake of making a trade. Like they dealt 2 pitchers and David Hamilton. I'm not trying to say that they missed David Hamilton, because I think we'd be seeing more of the same anyway. But at least Marcelo would be at third, and I would be okay with that. But that's beside the point. But you traded for a guy that you didn't even like enough to commit to him. You were like, okay, now let's go trade for Isiah Paredes, a guy that you already didn't match up well with before you dealt, 3 depth options. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And like, thank God they didn't trade for him, because if Isiah Paredes couldn't see at Fenway Park, like that's the only reason you'd be trading for him, is that he fits the ballpark. And I hate adding niche players like that, because like that's the exact reason that Red Sox fans give Jazz Chisholm a ton of crap, is like, oh, he dominates Yankee Stadium, but he can't hit anywhere else. So if you trade for Isiah Paredes, yeah, he may hit 25 home runs at Fenway, but he'll hit 6 on the road. He'll be like one of the worst hitters in baseball on the road. Like Caleb Durbin, he may run into like 9 or 10 home runs at Fenway, may hit like 20 doubles at Fenway, but if on the road he's dog crap, it's 81 games out of the year. And then if you're a team that sneaks into the wild card, which they seem very content on doing because they never operate like they're trying to win the division, you're going to get a road playoff series in the wild card round. So then Caleb Durbin's useless in that series as well. I didn't like the trade when it happened. And I know that it's been 6 games and people are going to say, well, I'm overreacting. Like, again, I didn't like the player when they traded for him. So this is just me being consistent. I don't like him. I don't think he's going to be a good player on this team. And like, I got flamed for saying that he may be Christian Arroyo. I would take Christian Arroyo right now.
The morning we traded for him, the first report dropped that Spirit had that we were interested in, having some conversations about Caleb Durbin. And I'm pretty sure your exact response was like, please no. Like,
I gotta go back and find it because you're right.
It was definitely something like that. Like, if people are doubting whether or not you've been against it the entire time, like, yeah, no. The second report started coming out about him, you were absolutely out on that.
Time to do a little search. They traded for him on February 9th. Give me a sec. I will find this exact tweet.
But I don't want us to forget that they did acquire Andrew Monasterio in that trade as well, who has looked actually not terrible. Out there in his limited sample size.
You can be nuanced, and like, I guess my stance was more on it was like from a value standpoint. I thought it was a decent trade. I don't think Kyle Harrison was ever going to get any sort of runway here, whether that's deservedly so or not. Obviously, any pitcher can go to Milwaukee and they just become a new guy. But between David Hamilton and Kyle Harrison for Monasterio and Durbin, who came third in the year. Third and rookie of the year. You have 6 years of his contract for a guy who can do like 7 to 725 OPS and play decent defense. Value wise, that's good. But for what this roster need, that's not what we needed at all. I think that was kind of my take with it.
Someone had mentioned at the time, like, oh, could this be like a piece that they use later on to flip for like Ketel Marte as well? Because now they could, that's an infielder prospect. But I don't know if you guys have been seeing this guy Fernandez that just started coming up over. Is it Fernandez or Hernandez?
Jose Fernandez.
Either way, Fernandez, yeah, shortstop for the Diamondbacks is coming up pretty electric on the scene. I don't know, and they also have there's another shortstop prospect of theirs that's
we got Jordan Lawler.
Name is forgetting me.
But he's he's playing what, like center this year? Lawler was the same guy that was drafted in Meyer's draft. They've been kind of throwing him all over the place. I think he went right before Meyer.
Yeah.
And they drafted Kason Cunningham, who's also a shortstop prospect, I think, this year. So.
I mean, he's a little ways away, but
for sure.
Either way, I don't think the Diamondbacks really are needing that like Marcelo Meyer type player at this point. You know what I mean? But if they do trade Marte, you could say here's Durbin as like a stopgap for you, and then here's, insert other player. But
it's funny, we're not even at opening day of Fenway yet, and we're already talking about like the need and trade for a guy like Marte, which we've talked about for how many months now that we need still.
It's insane. It's insane. I do think they would have figured it out with Marte had Marte not been taken off the trade block when he was. Like, I do think that deep down that once Bregman re-signed, if Marte was still available, that they would have made something happen at that point. But I think that they had waited too long, and they royally screwed up the order of the offseason by waiting because they were hedging their bets on Bregman.
I found a tweet. Ken Rosenthal, trade news. Red Sox acquiring Caleb Durbin from Brewers. Source tells The Athletic. Kyle Harrison headed to Milwaukee. Others involved. My exact response, verbatim, yuck. I did not like that trade. So I'm being consistent here. I'm not overreacting. I did not like the player. I did not like the trade. Sorry, I spent way too much time trying to find it.
Ball nowhere.
Was that in our group chat?
No, I think we may have talked. Oh, here's another one. You tweeted the Alex Spear report that multiple industry sources identified Brewers infielder Caleb Durbin as a potential Red Sox target. I quote tweeted, "I really, really dislike this idea."
Yeah,
This
that's
was
what I was.
before they
That's what I
traded
was
for
thinking. Of. Correct. Yeah,
I might
that
retweet
was
those.
what I was thinking of in my mind because, like, I remembered it was even before we had gone out and signed him that you were on board with the reporting came out and you said, "Nope, not a fan of that."
Didn't like it, and I also didn't like signing IKF 3 days sooner. But like, I don't think there's much of a difference between those two guys. I think Durbin's better. I don't think it's like so much better that you needed to get both of them.
By the way, we are going to be without Garrett Whitlock for the next couple of days. Apparently, he's having a baby, so I don't know. That wasn't really like reported a ton of places, but he threw like 37 pitches or something crazy in the last game just because he wasn't going to be around. So I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but that will not be great. I expect Zach Kelly to make an appearance probably this weekend if he's the first person up from Worcester, if I had to guess.
As long as they throw Weiser out there in his Italian jersey, I wish we should be all right.
Yeah, can you wear it under the Sox jersey? Like, it's probably gonna be hot as hell, but like, come on. Maybe he needs to go back to stash only.
That's true. Or just standing on the side of the mound that he stood on last year because he apparently changed it up.
Or Alex Cora can just stop letting him come in with inherited runners. We've been seeing that since 2024. That never works, but hey.
True.
Yeah, I think like I ironically feel great about the bullpen other than Weiser, I feel great about the bullpen. I haven't been worried when I see these guys coming out. Even Ryan Watson's been good. Danny Colom's been good. I take it back. Oviedo is part of the bullpen. And like we didn't really talk about that, but like very concerning that Johan Oviedo lost like 2.5 miles per hour on every pitch, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know why that happened. I got no idea." And then everyone on the pitching staff is like, not the pitching staff, the coaching staff is like, "Nope, he's fine." Cora came out and said that they have an idea of what's going on, and they're gonna hopefully correct it. But like, that's insane to lose 2.5 miles per hour on every pitch. He came out throwing like 92 miles an hour.
Yeah, he averaged 95.3 last year, averaged 92.9 in his first outing of the season. That cost the Red Sox Justinson Garcia, by the way, just for those keeping score. Not to say that he would have been a part of this at all, but that's another guy that you maybe could have used somewhere else if you decided you maybe wanted any hitters that were good this offseason. I mean, you got Wilson. I don't want to poo-poo that, but somebody else.
A James Tibbs in password platoon
would have been beautiful. Would have been cinema. But alas, we wanted Dustin May and Johan Oviedo. Fucking hell, man. I can't wait till Johan Oviedo gets flipped to the Brewers for like Joey Ortiz, and Oviedo is a 3-time All-Star, and Joey Ortiz hits $160. That's gonna be a fun game to play in 2027. Really excited about that.
I wish Oviedo was really good to start the year because man, he has a caboose. That boy thick. I don't know. He gets on the mound and I can't stop looking at it. Like it's just he's so big. I don't know. Anyways, he hopefully gets better.
I wish he was good because his ass is fat. That's a fantastic bullet point for this episode.
I wish the Red Sox were better, that I could like have more fun making jokes like that.
Yeah.
I'm so miserable that it's like
So I'm saying, man, Like
We could talk about how beautiful Connor Wong is. I mean, he's been really good. So maybe we could talk about Yoshida having almost as many walks as he had last year. There's some fun stats about this team.
Somebody tweeted out that Yoshida has a higher OPS than Trevor Story, and he doesn't have a hit this year.
That was me.
Absolutely insane.
I love the as bad as the early part of the season's gone, the first like handful of games are always so fun because like shit like that happens. Like Yoshida's 0 for 8 and he has a higher OPS than Trevor Story, who has a home run and a double. So like it's not like he's just hit a bunch of singles and he's like, no, he's got a 414 OPS. Yoshida is 0 for 8 and his is 429. I love Masa, man. I hope he's never gone.
That means you need to start the Trevor Story 600 OPS march again.
We do that in May.
Okay.
We do it at the end of May.
Dude, I can't do that 2 years in a row, brother. I can't. I'm like half laughing and half crying, dude. I can't. Physically can't.
Well, if history repeats itself, we know that he's going to hit a 3-run home run in the first inning tomorrow, which is impossible because unless they bat around because they're hitting him second, which again, it's also stupid. That was never a good idea. As bad as their lineup is on paper, well, like why was that? Like, why is Trevor Story hitting second? I dislike Caleb Durbin as a player. I would hit him second before I hit Trevor Story second. That was a disaster from Jump Street. I don't know why that was the initial plan.
It's because the only way you can do right, left all the way down. So obviously you have to do it.
Well, unless
you put Durbin there or Contreras there.
Yeah, I would say you could do Contreras in the one hole. Or
I saw stats floated that idea.
Yeah, if you want to get
Contreras
funky
as a leadoff hitter.
I mean, this is new baseball, dude.
I mean, Contreras did lead off a bunch with the Cubs, like 50 times or something like that. So it's not like out of the realm of possibility. I mean, Schwarber leads off for the Phillies.
It is weird for like people our age and older about seeing guys like that in the one hole. Like I get it. Like, you know, we used to start speedy guys, but like you look around like teams in the NL today, they have a bunch of guys like that. Or you have like, you know, if you're facing a righty, you put Durant at 1, Anthony at 2, Story 3, Abreu 4, Contreras 5. I think analytically, you'd rather have Contreras at 5 than 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's a little bit higher or whatever. But.
Well, the odds are if he came up in the first inning, it'd be in an RBI spot or you've already scored. So so it's better to have that than if there's more like no outs or nobody on 2 out situations if he's batting third. So I don't know. Maybe we're overreacting to it in like, you know, 2 weeks from now, Story's got like a 130 WRC plus, and we're like, oh my God, Alex Cora is a genius for plugging him in the 2 hole. But yeah, I mean, I think they're treating their lineup a little too much like it's MLB The Show, and they're like, we have to split up righties and lefties. But like, if you're making a conscious decision that Jarren Duran and Wilyer Abreu are going to play against lefties, who cares where they're hitting against righties? Because if a lefty comes in, you're not taking them out anyway. And if you are going to take them out, it doesn't really matter where they're hitting because you're taking them out of the game anyway. So I don't know.
Unless the thought is that they don't, it's not necessarily about that. Maybe it's more about like, you don't want your opponents to say, oh, we have a pocket of lefties coming up, so let's put our lefty in that we know they're not going to pull them out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you have a guy like Anthony that kind of helps splits that up because he hits both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one though.
My thought process coming into the year was if you're not going to be a team that hits for power, and other than, you know, Wilyer's got 3, but nobody else has more than 1. But if you're not going to be a team that's hitting for power, the best way to go about it is put a high on base guy in the leadoff spot and a guy with great bat control in the 2 hole. And like Durbin's doing me no favors by striking out a bunch to start the year, but like he was a guy that I thought you'd hit him behind Roman put him in the 2 hole, hit him behind Roman. You could actually use Roman even though he's not super fast. Although I don't know what's up with him. He was faster last year. Maybe the added muscle is taken away a little bit from his speed and his arm. For some reason, it's just an absolute noodle right now. But put somebody with good bat control behind him. You can get a little chaotic on the base pass. Maybe the better idea would be Duran there and then Durbin and then Wilson and then Roman in the 4. You have him in a real real RBI spot. I don't know, but it's still early. I think we'll have a better idea probably after when they face Milwaukee after this series, probably after this homestand, we'll have a better idea of if they should change the lineup or just stay the course, because there's going to be other 6-game stretches this year where nobody's hitting but a couple of guys, and we're like, we got to bench so-and-so, and then they have a monster series, then they have a Connor Wong series, and they go nuts,
This is definitely the year that Pete Fatsie gets fired, though.
But the thing is, this is the first time where I'm like, this isn't his fault, because nobody thought this team was going to score runs coming. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody, but like the national perception was this team is going to do a great job of keeping other teams off the board, but the offense is going to be a weak spot.
Yes, I'll say that. But to the same point of what I'm about to say here, though, is like whenever this offense for the past 3 years has gotten into a cold rut, he does not know how to coach them out of that rut quickly. And that's repeatedly showing up. And that's why the highs are so high and the lows are so low with this team. And it seems like it's the same thing every single year, is because when they do have a good hot stretch, they are great at scoring runs because the philosophy is working. The problem is, like, when it's not working, what's the pivot? And he's not very good, from what I can tell, at getting guys to course correct quickly. It seems to take a lot longer than other teams, or at least other good teams, because I'm not saying every other team has good hitting coaches, but I don't know. It's just like,
I just think
this
this
is
group
one of those stretches.
I think this group, it's a personnel issue, though. Like, you talked after last season about wanting to address the strikeout problem, and then you brought in Wilson Contreras, who's a good hitter, but he's a guy who strikes out. Like Caleb Durbin, you only brought him in because he doesn't strike out, because you didn't like him enough to commit to him, because you wanted to bring in Isiah Paredes. But like, you wanted a guy who hit for power but didn't strike out. But then you didn't sign Pete Alonso, and then you didn't bring back Alex Bregman. So like, you walked into the season with Roman, who does strike out. Like, he's not like, that's his one flaw really as a hitter, is he strikes out a lot. And like, a lot being relative, like it's still like 25%. Like it'll come down. I think it's like 40% right now, but it'll come down. Story strikes out a ton. Durant strikes out a ton. Wilson strikes out a ton. Abreu will strike out a lot. Like, that's your first 5 hitters in the lineup. They all strike out. And those are your 5 best hitters, and they all strike out. So like, when they're struggling,
all strike out 2 times a game, and there's 10 strikeouts right there.
Exactly. And then like, even if you want to go like further down the food chain right now, like let's just say in a hypothetical world, Tristan Casas still plays baseball. He strikes out a lot. Rafaela strikes out a lot, and he's a guy who has no real plan up there. He's just like, I'm going to swing. Like, it's like he decides that he's going to take 1 or 2 pitches in at bat. Doesn't matter where they are. And he's just going to swing at every other pitch. He has no clue. Like, that at bat in the series where he burned that challenge, and then he took an 0-2 fastball down the chute for strike 3. I literally almost threw my monitor across the room. I'm like, that is the most frustrating at bat I've ever seen in such an, again, inconsequential part of the game. I've never been angrier at an at bat in like the 3rd inning of a game in my life. Like, you have all these guys who strike out, and they go through these long stretches where they can't hit. And then I'm not saying you're blaming the hitting coach, but I think like firing him at this point would be like scapegoating him. The time to fire him would have been in like mid 2024. So like, you let him hang around for another 2 years and then fire him when it's finally not his fault. It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, fire him right now. I'm just saying that this is the season, I think, I think this is his last year.
That's fair. I don't think he'll be the hitting coach in 2027. That I can definitely agree with. I just don't think he gets fired mid-season. And if he does, I have no idea how I'd feel about it, because again, I just think they're setting him up for failure. It's like they're almost like forcing him to get fired.
Yeah,
like when ownership tells Heim not to spend money and then gets mad at him for not having a good enough team.
Yeah, they're not making his job, Cora's job, any easier. I've argued they made Bailey's job pretty easy. if the pitching isn't good this year, could definitely have a Bailey. Obviously, way too early, but that could definitely be a conversation. But
Yeah, this is I don't know. I am excited. I'm going to be there tomorrow. Isaiah's going to be there tomorrow. Jordan, you're going to be there tomorrow?
I am not. I took pretty much all of last week off, and then because of my travel back, I had to take Monday off too. So I'm not going to be there tomorrow, but I'll be there Saturday.
All right. So we've got some representation in the house tomorrow for sure. Back-to-back opening day home openers. So excited for that. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, come say
I wish
hi.
we had more positive things to talk about, but man, I mean, other than Wilyer, Abreu, Roman Anthony hitting his first home run of the year, those are the highlights for me for the season, for the whole series.
And Connor Wong.
Connor
Like we
Wong,
all
of course.
expected.
Yeah.
well,
I
the
am
good thing is,
running a tracker of the countdowns to 20 home runs. So now anytime someone hits a home run, I will be updating that because apparently Zip says, hey, we're not going to have anyone hit 20 home runs. So I'm going to track them all. And after every game, if someone hits a home run, I will post the updated tracker. And we can see how close we are at getting people over 20 home runs. But
Matt, how many do you think will hit 20?
I'm
I
guessing
don't know if you ever gave. I don't know if
4.
you ever predicted that. 4? Do you have
Yeah.
your 4 in mind, or do you just think over the course of the year 4 guys will get there?
Well, no, I think we have Abreu and Contreras will be definitely 2 of those. And then the other 2 I don't know of, but those are the 2 I feel pretty good about. Everyone wants to pencil in Anthony there, but I don't know if I can get there with him for sure at 20 home runs. I would like to think that's the case, but I could also see him sitting at like 18 or 19 home runs with a lot of doubles. You know, I could also see Rafaela randomly popping up for 20 home runs or Story randomly popping up for 20 home runs.
no
But-
Connor Wong mentioned whatsoever.
Yeah, especially if
Ironically-
Narvaez is in the doghouse, and we're going to get a lot of Connor Wong play this year.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm-
he might be closer to not getting on the list at all than to getting to 20 home runs.
Damn, Isaiah, I was locked in for that until you started laughing. I said that with a straight
Nah,
face. And
I'm gonna-
everything.
started a conspiracy that like Connor Wong is like stealing like Carlos Narvaez's like alarm clocks or like hacked into his phone.
He's unplugging them and plugging it back in, so it resets his alarm to midnight. He's just a mess. Anything to get himself back in the lineup. I mean, last year he lost his job because he broke his hand. Like that was quite literally how he lost his starting job.
It's true.
And then he sucked
Yeah,
when he
that's
came
very-
back, but that's beside the point. He wasn't starting.
As frustrating as it's been, it is pretty wild that we have 156 games left. And like one good weekend with good weather, drinks flowing at Fenway in a great series, the vibes can shift so quickly.
Don't forget
so,
a nice lobster poutine.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I gotta
right.
try that on Saturday. I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna try. Try it.
I'm gonna have
Look at
19 Sun Cruisers tomorrow and lobster poutine like 70 degrees.
You won't catch me dead with the lobster poutine. I'm just putting that out there.
Lobster
Can't.
poutine. Gotta try it. You gotta try it, man. It's part of the experience.
No.
Like I got chili dogs in Cincinnati because like they were gaslighting everybody into getting Skyline. Not sponsored. They're not. They're that market. But yeah, like you gotta try it. I'm gonna try it, and I'm not even like a big seafood guy.
I
Maybe
do
not
not like
Saturday.
seafood. I
Maybe
do
not
not like
Saturday.
seafood at all. So yeah, not a fan of that. I did want to try the mac and cheese sandwich or something like that. The spicy mac and cheese sandwich that they rolled out as a new menu item at one of the locations. So that did look good, but yeah, not a fan of the poutine.
I think the lobster poutine
like-
might be like a June experience, to be honest. I feel like an April 4th is kind of pushing it.
Yeah. Plus,
We'll see how Connolly's doing on Saturday. If he has a bad first inning, I might be getting lobster poutine. We'll see.
Post a review. We need to know.
Yeah,
I guess you can
but
talk
I'm
about it
not going to
today.
post the review until I'm driving home after the game.
That's when you film it. Yeah. Film the review.
No, you bring the lobster poutine home with you, and you eat it while you drive and record.
That's
Give us
going to be
what
the
we
most.
want.
That's going to be the most disgusting thing of all time. It might be gross anyway, but like, I wait until 2 hours post game to eat my lobster poutine that I bought in the 4th inning.
That's disgusting.
I'll end up in the hospital. It'd be great content, though. It'd be fantastic content.
It would be honestly great content. Speaking of great
dude,
content,
stop being selfish, dude. Do it for Pesky Report. Get the views.
Well, I
up,
mean,
dog.
I don't know if you guys have seen the video of that dude who drank like that lemonade that was like 12 years old and then ended up in the hospital. That's gonna be it's gonna be a similar vibe on Saturday if I do
It
the
would.
lobster poutine review for my car.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of content, if you haven't had the chance yet to go take a look at our Instagram, we would appreciate you giving us a follow over there at the Pesky Report. Been doing a lot of things on the Instagram last couple of weeks. Really, really good job from Jason working on pumping out some graphics. And we've had Nate joining us as well to help out with some graphics and help out with our Instagram content. Nate, I'm going to just absolutely butcher his last name here. I think it's Wollenhop. Anyways, he runs the or ran for a while the We Talk Sox Instagram page and did a really good job growing that audience. I think they have like 44,000 followers on Instagram over there now. And he had taken a step back and handed the reins over to Owen Brown, who runs that pod now, and Sean Palmer. And Owen's a part of, what is it? Pod by the River.
Yep.
I think he joined as a co-host this offseason. So Nate was kind of a free agent, wanted to work independently, and he reached out and said that he appreciated, the minor league coverage that we have at the Pesky Report, and wanted to be a part of helping to grow our brand a little bit there. So he's been helping out. It's been really cool. And just the last couple of days. So give us a chance on Instagram, give us a follow. We'd appreciate it. And if you have any ideas for content, let us know.
Yeah, what other food can I try behind the wheel? Give me Fenway grub review ideas. Maybe that'll be a recurring thing for the season. I should have done the food review while I was out in Cincy. I guess I'll have to go back. They do have they do have a 3-2-1 deal for Tuesdays. You get $3 beers, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cones.
Wow.
I might have to make a trip out there in July or something.
Are they gonna do the 9 for 9 at Fenway this year? The 9 innings challenge when it's like the tiny beers and the tiny hot dogs.
I'd do it.
Yeah,
if I hit a parlay, I'll do it.
I tried doing it once, and I spent the next morning. I woke up like 4:00. My wife and I stayed like the nice Omni in Seaport in Boston, and I started puking in the shower, like literally hot dogs. But like it was such a fancy shower that didn't have like normal holes at the bottom of it, so I was like poking like hot dogs through the bottom of the shower. So try at your own risk. Try at your own risk.
I did so because obviously food and stuff at the ballpark is super expensive. When I was out in California, I was out in San Francisco. I did the garlic fries because that's what I was told to consume out there at Oracle Park. And then I just did it with beers. I just drank beer until the game was over. I did the equivalent of 12. That was not a good idea.
Well, then you got to, because they stopped serving beer after this. Is it the beginning of the 7th?
I think it's after this. I think it's after the 7th, or like the middle of the 7th, like the top of the 7th. They stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got going. That was I'm never drinking that much beer ever again, or booze.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Holding myself accountable on camera. I'm sure that'll last over the course of the season.
Yeah, we got to clip this, and I'm gonna get a video of just Jordan shit faced at Fenway this summer.
Yeah, Isiah, you mentioned something to me. You mentioned it to me on Instagram, like a few weeks ago. You're like, we got to get hammered at a Sox game this year. I think you, not to out you.
That sounds like something I would say.
Let's see. Should I posted something on my Instagram
me.
story. Do I have permission to share your message on?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, okay. But what if I like getting obliterated at Fenway once a week in the summer? I said that it sounds like the message is for someone else. You said, we're so fucking back. Thank you, King.
I might have had a couple of drinks in me when I sent those messages, to be fair.
No, stone cold sober. Stone cold sober. But yeah, so if a random June day you see Isiah and me absolutely hemmed up at Fenway Park, no, you didn't.
It was the lobster poutine that got us like that.
Yeah. That I'm sure that there's intoxicants in that. If anyone likes it, I'm sure that there's something in there.
Do the 9 for 9 challenge, but with 9 lobster poutines.
9
beers.
That's so disgusting, dude.
That's also so much money. That's worth I could probably go to 4 Sox Yankees games for that. And like really good seats for Sox Yankees for that kind of money. 9 lobster poutines, 9 beers. But you gotta be true to the tradition. You still gotta find a way to get a hot dog in there.
You have to make sure you know who's pitching though, because if you're trying to do 9 lobster poutines, but you got I don't know who's a fast low pitch count guy. Apparently no one on this roster. Yeah, it's Crochet. He's going out there and he's you can't do that on a Crochet start. No way.
Johan Oviedo bump day. I will be getting after lobster poutine for sure. Especially with the way his velocity is trending by the end of the first half. I'm gonna be able to eat one in between pitches.
Dude, his fastball is gonna be 87 by the time June rolls around anyways at this rate.
Be Cooper Criswell.
I mean, listen, Coop Troop, stand up. Where's he right now? Is he
He's
with
in Seattle?
Oh yeah,
he's with the Mariners now. He gave up a home run to Chase DeLauder the other day. I don't know how he's doing other than that. Let's do a live Cooper Criswell stat reading. Why not?
Did you guys see DeLauder?
While you're doing that, I'm gonna look up freaking Ref Snyder while he's doing. Why? No, what's DeLauder's swing look like?
Oh, it's rough on the eyes. I mean, it's been working.
It's not pretty, but he mashes. Cooper Criswell has pitched 6 innings this year. He has allowed 2 earned runs. This is very Cooper Criswell of him. 6 innings, 2 earned. He's got 7 Ks though.
So he'd be the best pitcher on the Sox right now, no?
He's got a 2.79 expected FIP, but his expected ERA is 6.62. That's very Cooper Criswell. That's like second half 2024 Cooper Criswell. But we'll always have that random 7-inning 1 earned against the Astros start. I was there for that. Roman's first walk-off. Ridiculous game that was. That was so stupid.
Well, Rob Ref Snyder is currently 0 for 8 with 3 strikeouts. And so that's rough. 0 walks.
I was gonna say don't slight the man on his ex-wobo, but it's only 0.26. So
yeah,
that's almost more offensive than it being zero.
I think it's funny. Jordan and I talked about Ref Snyder last week, so it has to be a continual bit throughout the entire year that we talk about Rob every single week.
Yeah, I'm down with that. My prediction before the season started was that the Red Sox are going to trade for him again. He is going to be a Red Sox by the end of the season.
That's a phenomenal bit.
Let's just trade for him back again.
Can we trade Caleb Durbin for him? Straight up, I'd do it.
Caleb Durbin, a couple boxes of lobster poutine, call it a day.
Yeah, can we stock the soda machine for 3 years? Something like that. I mean, Rob did play second base as a prospect for the Yankees. Can we move Marcelo to third and Rob can play second?
He also apparently is a first baseman, so There's that too.
He has not played first though for the Mariners because he's only a first baseman in theory.
Correct. Yeah, he's only played DH for them so far.
Man, Rob was such a
He's
good Red Sox.
accumulated negative 0.2 WAR already.
He was such a good Red Sox, man.
He was. All right. Any final thoughts from you? Any final thoughts from anybody in the room?
Not to keep relitigating the fact that Connor Wong's been really good, but as funny as it's been, we need to appreciate it while it lasts. Any games that they can actually use him is one less game that Carlos Narvaez has to play in the first half of the season. Like he tore his meniscus last year. I would like to keep Narvi somewhere in the like 95 to 105 games played range, so that way he can be like unleashed in August and September, and then hopefully October you can start playing him every single day. So if Connor can give you 65 to 70 games of like viable backup catcher play, that is gigantic.
It's true.
Yeah. I do think that actually solves a lot of problems because this offseason, that was a big thing that we thought was not addressed was the catching situation. And even going into spring training when Connor Wong looked absolutely horrible, it was like, well, they traded for a lot of like catching depth in the minors, but didn't address it in the majors. So I'm there for that. Isiah, any final thoughts?
We're gonna do predictions for the upcoming series or no?
Frig, yeah. That's a good call.
I don't know if you guys can see the private chat because I put them in there when you guys before you guys joined the room, but I did put the pitching matchups in there.
No.
All right. Do you want me to just read them?
Yeah.
All right. Home opener, Friday, 2:10 p.m. First pitch, Sonny Gray. He has a 6.75 ERA and a 4.67 FIP. He's taking on Rhode Island native and BC alum Michael King. If that's the first time you've heard of it, welcome to planet Earth. He did not allow an earned run in his first start. He has a 3.77 FIP. Again, that's 2:10 first pitch. Game 2 is Saturday, 4:10 p.m. First pitch, Connolly early, 1.69 ERA. Shout out Greg Weissert. 2.04 FIP versus Randy Vasquez. Also did not allow an earned run in his first start, and he has a 2.00 FIP. Game 3, the matchup we've all been waiting for. Walker Buehler revenge game. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Red Sox, 8.31 ERA, 8.48 FIP against Walker Buehler, 6.75 ERA, 7.17 FIP. First pitch at 1:35. 3 afternoon games at the Fens this weekend. So a lot of time to, let the lobster poutine run its course and sober up after the game as well. All those 3 days.
I'll let you go first, Isiah.
I'm gonna go Sox win 1 out of 3. We win the home opener. But more importantly, the Sox start playing better baseball and it's less frustrating to watch from a viewer standpoint.
I think that is definitely in the realm of possibilities. Jordan, what about you?
I feel really good about them winning 2 of these 3 games. I really hope tomorrow's one of them. I don't think it's going to be. I just don't. But I will say the Padres have actually been worse offensively than the Red Sox to start the year. Their WRC plus as a team is 27th in baseball at 76. The Red Sox is 24th at 84. So, the dam's got to break for one of these teams. I hope that it's obviously the direction of the Red Sox. I think they lose game 1 and win games 2 and 3.
I'm also going 2 out of 3, but I'm going that they're going to win games 1 and 2 and that they're going to get their absolute butts handed to them by Walker Buehler in the final game, especially since we have Ranger Suarez on the mound. I think that Xander Bogaerts is definitely going deep in that game against Ranger Suarez, and we're all going to be crying.
Question. This is Xander's first game actually played at Fenway since 2022. Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so, because he was on the injured list last year when they came here.
Yep.
Or 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, they did. I was at the game that he returned for, so they did play a tribute video. But I'm curious if they'll do something for him tomorrow since he's actually playing.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Back once.
Probably not. But it'd be a nice touch. I'm sure he'll get an ovation. He'll definitely get an ovation.
Well, the Walker Buehler video though.
It's just him
Be here for
getting
that one.
shit kicked in, dude.
It'll just be a loop of him getting thrown out of that one game.
That one game where he pitched like 2.2 innings where he was like, 5 strikeouts or something, and then he got thrown out of the game.
He got ejected, yeah.
And
You
it
guys
was for-
think,
wasn't it for arguing a strike call right down the middle of the plate on a throw down to someone stealing second base or something like that?
Yeah, and to his in defense of him, that they wouldn't be able to challenge it this year because they would have already burned their 2 by that point in the game. So, so he'd be getting thrown out if it happened this year too. Unfortunately for Walker.
It's very true. That's very true. Yeah, that's my prediction. That's why I think finally have a rebound series, finally have a series victory, but they're gonna lose on Sunday. Sunday Sox are gone, so far gone. The question is though, are they gonna wear the greens? Oh, just was thinking that. Last year they did not wear them, but that was because they had not introduced them yet. So I think they usually wear like the whites for the whole home weekend.
Well, the
like
thing is, when
wear
they
the yellows last year,
I thought they wore the yellows on the home opener in 2020. What was it, 22? I think they wore the yellows, but I could be wrong about that. So what? Maybe they'll do the greens on Saturday, and last
year again. This was last year, not this year, but last year they did not wear. They just wore the whites the whole weekend.
That's lame.
And if you noticed on the road, they also did not change up their uniforms. They wore the road grays the entire time.
Oh yeah, so the Reds are dead. Maybe they shouldn't be.
Maybe they'll wear the home Reds again. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be nice. I thought that the Reds would look better on the road, and then I actually saw it. And I'm like, ooh, that was
because of the pants, though. Like
yeah.
And
the red and gray.
Yeah. All right. You guys got any other final thoughts?
Do you guys think Durbin or Machado gets booed louder this weekend?
Still Manny.
Definitely Machado, but it's gonna be close.
I wonder.
The good news is that Durbin can absorb it more because he's closer to the ground.
Yeah, he'll be the first one to know if the boos happen because he's lower. Well, I guess I have one question. I know they do like a bunch of ceremonial first pitches, but do we have any predictions for like who will be like who's like who will be throwing out the first pitch? Like the Reds home opener or the Reds season opener, Bronson Arroyo threw out the first pitch, which I thought was interesting. He also performed in the parade.
Wasn't he just at like the Woo Sox Stadium like a week ago too?
Yeah. Weird. I hadn't seen Bronson Arroyo like in any variety, like on TV, on like on social media or anything in like a decade. And then suddenly I see him 3 separate times in the span of 3 weeks in person. Wild. Welcome back, Bronson
just
Arroyo.
because he just came out with an album, maybe Noah Kahan throws out the first pitch at Fenway.
That'd be fun.
That's a good one.
I know that he's a big Boston Red Sox guy, so could see that.
I'm all for chaos. I think Pedroia throws out the first pitch tomorrow. Machado in the building.
Makes more sense.
Machado in the building. Get Petey out there.
Petey.
I'm going Tiger Woods.
Tails. I think they want to reverse the curse. I think it's Sydney Sweeney. I think they bring her back out again.
R.I.P.D. You guys' blood alcohol content level if Sydney Sweeney's throwing out the first pitch tomorrow. Because you guys are gonna have a lot of time to drink because it is going to be ugly. It's gonna get ugly early. Poor Sonny Gray.
Reverse the curse on that one.
Oh, okay. I do have one more thought. What the fuck does Kurt Schilling have a commercial for in 2026?
Oh my god.
We talked about this last week, but I did also save this in case you ever need it.
Hey, Meyer! I bet your car's out of warranty and you pay full price for repairs. You bum! Ah!
I've got Car Shield.
What?
Customers like me can save thousands on car repairs.
Wait, they can do that?
Maybe you didn't know Car Shield's been protecting drivers for over 20 years and are America's most trusted auto protection company. And maybe you didn't know that you live in your mom's basement.
Oh, how do you know that?
Baseball players hear everything. Enjoy the rest of the game and call Car Shield. You bum!
In case you ever need that, it's in our audio files now.
I don't know how Michael B. Jordan won an Oscar over that. That's incredible.
I love how he's like clearly reading the script there. Like it's just
yeah.
unreal acting by Marcelo Meyer.
Oh yeah, that's the best take they got for sure.
For
It's the only take they got for sure.
It's a take. It is one of the commercials of all time. For sure.
For every time that Kurt Schilling one pops up on my screen, I need to watch the Marcelo one 100 times to like fix it. You know,
we did talk about it. And we said like the way the Kurt Schilling commercial is structured, it was obviously written for him because it's all like Sox related. Like he was definitely the person they had in mind to film that. But the Meyer one, we were like, how many people do you think they had to get down through until they got to Marcelo Meyer being the one that agreed to come on and do that commercial? Because there's no way he was the first person that they had in mind.
I bet he was the second. I bet it was Roman first and then Marcelo. That's my guess. I think they wanted to
Jaron
probably
Duran first Jaron Duran first.
I don't think they. I don't know. Yeah, actually, yeah. You know, they probably did reach out to him, and then Duran was probably like, "I don't think I need any sort of thing with me getting involved with a fan."
He was an All-Star Game MVP. He's one of the most popular players in the league,
and he has precedent with interacting with fans in a hostile way. So
I mean, if the Kurt Schilling one was a whole commercial about Sox, and then they have a whole one about coming and heckling a fan back. I mean, who do you think they wrote that one about? Let's be honest.
That's fair. You know what? You're right. I think Marcelo was third. I think it was Duran, then Roman, then Marcelo.
I think my take would be that Car Shield. That's who it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever's in charge of that campaign is actually not really following the Red Sox very closely, because that seems like Kurt Schilling seems like a choice you make where you're like, oh yeah, he's a Red Sox legend. Yeah. Where you haven't kept up with the team in like the last 10, 15 years, and he's a gigantic piece of shit and that everyone hates him. That's what it's giving.
Yeah. It's definitely a choice to air that on NESN, where Tim Wakefield literally worked for NESN, and
he probably did it for like $3 too. Yeah.
Just
all right,
out of touch.
Fellas, I gotta wake up early so I can drive to Isiah's house so we can take the train to Fenway. So I'm gonna end this, and without further ado, hopefully we have some better news to talk about, because literally the Red Sox have not won a game since I was last on here recording. So hopefully they have won a game the next time that I'm back on here recording, which is 2 series from now. So that's asking a lot, I know. But anyways, we'll catch you guys later. Go Sox. And you bomb.
Like, this is called the pesky report. Like,